John, you were in studio last week. I had to separate you from Glenn in studio because it is too much for the lady folk of America. Even with my sunglasses on, it's.
You got to contain it. I understand. Lockbox.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Lockbox. Hi, handsome. Yes, I have to keep you in boxes. Exactly. Hello.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Biden getting all the credit for that from the people who've been talking about the gas prices. Also, we've got to look at the fact of look at the GOP's bench this year. I haven't seen this strong a Republican Senate bench since 2012 with Todd Aiken.
Yeah.
Herschel Walker and Dr. Oz and Eric Greitens, who I guess hates adultery so much he beats up his wife and his mistress. That's how moral he is. I mean, the amount of knuckleheadery that they have got.
This is Trumpism. This is Trumpism. I mean, Herschel Walker is bearing. He lied to his own staff about his kids that he hasn't, acknowledged having. I mean,
I'm waiting to find out Herschel Walker has kids with Elon Musk. They never told anyone about.
Yeah, it's possible. Listen, you are happy clappy this morning. You said if you're feeling down, ask yourself what's going to be more enjoyable: Trump and Giuliani publicly turning on each other, or Trump and Lindsey Graham publicly turning on each other, because both will happen. You're just trying to make me orgasm before Glenn Kirshner gets here.
I wrote that 3 years ago, and I retweeted it this week.
Yes, I know.
You don't get to pop the popcorn until he and Giuliani turn on each other. I'll tell you. And again, Joe Biden had the greatest year of job creation in American history. I mean, the American Rescue Plan helped lower healthcare costs under the ACA. Mm-hmm. He took medical debt off of our credit score calculations. The deficit dropped by more than $1.3 trillion in 1 year, the largest ever 1 year decline.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's lucky that he's got us to talk about his record that he can run on. Because I don't hear the Democratic Party doing it. Gavin Newsom seems to be auditioning to be the leader of the Democratic Party.
We can't play that ad enough. Freedom. It is about freedom. It is about our freedom over our bodies, over who marrying who we love, over not being slaughtered by senseless gun violence.
And
oh my God! Speaking of which, there is the most beautiful. See right behind your. Okay, it's gone now. Oh my God!
What's that?
That's a beautiful. See, you have.
Oh yes, thank you. Oh yes.
Sorry.
That's a fine pussy. He is.
All right. Karen in Chicago wants to do the other breaking news about Joe Biden. Go ahead. Hello, Karen.
Hi.
Go ahead. You have other breaking news. Biden's signing what now? What now? Yes, this is important.
He is signing an executive order to protect reproductive health care. So, of course, on cue, though, we have a bunch of people who are conditioning their vote in November on Joe Biden doing anything between now and November. Out there criticizing it is not enough. And we have members of the media amplifying this.
Yeah. Well, I love Allison Gill at Mueller, she wrote, and Jen Kirkman have been way out front on this about, be very careful on people trying to do exactly what happened in 2016, divide Democrats on abortion. There's no reason we should be a solid united front about abortion. Democrats are the wrong target, John. I mean, it's
there's ways to hold an administration's feet to the fire because you want to see them succeed, and then there's circular firing squad, and it's if we can't take advantage of the deep fissures in the Republican Party and turn those guys against each other, that should be the only message. But again, we're still dealing with this.
Their fissures are in fascism. It's like Goebbels or Himmler. That's what their fight is about. Ours, David Yankovic said, if you think sitting this election out to send the Democratic Party a message is the best use of your voice, you're wrong. That's why we got stuck with Trump, lost Roe, SCOTUS, and why we're going to lose voting rights. If we don't vote Dem this time, freedom is over. Again, it's one thing the media keeps pounding, John, but Nick Newsom tweets, new polling, motivation to vote among Democrats has overtaken Republican enthusiasm. 92% of Democrats say they're extremely motivated to vote in November compared to 89% of Republicans. That's even, but it's a huge, right? Yeah. The shift is attributed largely to Roe, SCOTUS, and January 6th. I keep saying this, John, all these stupid media storylines and the smirk on their faces and the people that have already said Republicans have won back the House and taken the Senate. I'm like, And
listen, as much fun as it would be to watch Kevin McCarthy be the worst Speaker of the House in history, watch his own caucus rise up and eat him, as much fun as it would be to see them fail all over the place, the reality is it's the party of forcing 10-year-old rape victims to give birth to their rapist
Thank you.
child. 10-year-olds. That should be the only thing we need to run. 60% of women who have abortions are moms already. Yep. This should be the only thing we have to run on. But again, there's going to be a hell of a finale to this great summer miniseries. You know my worries about the January 6th hearing. I don't want it to. I think the Democrats are putting what happened on trial. The Republicans are trying to make Ron DeSantis their presidential nominee. So I'm God bless Liz Cheney, but just be very wary, Democrats. But again, between abortion,
I keep saying she's our velociraptor. She's learned how to work the doorknobs at DOJ. Just let her finish. Let her finish.
Liz Cheney wants women to go to jail for abortion. Yes. Liz Cheney wants billionaires to get a bigger tax cut. And Liz Cheney thinks the Iraq war was just fine. Let's not get too crazy, Democrats.
Dana made another good analogy. She is the Siegfried and Roy tiger. Everything's going fine for a while. And then
Joe Biden
until she turns on us. Yes.
Joe Biden's going to probably forgive half the student loan debt in this country in early fall. So, I mean, there's things coming. We just have to keep on it.
I don't mean to yell out. I don't mean to yell out another sexy liberal hunk's name while you're here, but Bob Cesca tweets, if you are not exclusively focused on electorally humiliating Republicans this year, you're doing it wrong. Yep.
Right? That's it. Yeah. Listen, 77,000 Democrats who were too ideologically pure as liberals to compromise and vote for Hillary Clinton in 3 states are the reasons Roe v. Wade is gone now.
Yeah.
I mean, 77,000 votes in 3 states are why Roe v. Wade is gone. So it's not the time for purity tests. It's the time to say, hey, we only agree on 85% of stuff. Let's fight for that much.
Yeah. I mean, we knew Roe was going to be a big motivator, but, I think the other, well, it's not a surprise, the ongoing gun carnage, but I think more and more people are realizing it is exclusively Republicans that are stopping us from having sensible gun. I mean, we were talking about Shinzo Abe, John, and the shock there is that gun violence doesn't happen in Japan. And if you're looking at, I was trying to read the, just the gun regulations in Japan. I mean, it really is extraordinary. You see why it never. I mean, what did we say, Jody? We had more mass shootings in July 4th weekend in America than UK and Japan have had combined in 1 year.
Yeah. Because it works if you work it. I mean, Tokyo has like 3 handgun murders a year, and it's all just yakuzas shooting each other over area and territory. I mean, it doesn't happen because the people there decided mass shootings were unacceptable. Right. Folks in Australia decided in 1996 mass shootings were unacceptable. We can't get that consensus because what we see time and time again is acceptable. And at this point, you know what? I say the killers' names because every Republican who is arguing against more gun safety, they should have to say, no, I think the shooter on the 4th of July should have had access to an AR-15. I think these 18-year-old males in Buffalo and Uvalde should have make them say it.
John, I keep saying, time to go for the jugular. Use that picture of that mother wrapped literally in a Trump flag and use the headline about the 10-year-old girl raped and can't get an abortion in Ohio.
Yes.
Like go
whenever
for
I'm
the
nonviolent,
jugular.
I always go for the jugular in my nonviolence. Always.
Yes. All right, you're right. That was a bad phrase. My point is,
you
slay it, not slaying, Steph, and that's what matters. Yeah, listen, I mean, shame. Speaking as a Catholic, I'll tell you, it's very powerful. And we have to shame these amoral people because we're the pro-life ones. We're the patriots. They're not.
I almost feel like, as my personal comedy Jesus, as the ecclesiastical mook, I feel like maybe you disagree with Bill Bennett that we need more exorcisms to stop gun violence. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, actually, I think Bill Bennett nailed it. That's really what we need to stop gun violence. You have to get as many guns into as many hands of as many unstable men as possible, and then you bring in witch doctors. Every society that manages to control violence has done exactly this. Get as many guns as possible out there, and then the witch doctors. And it works.
I mean, calling Dr. Bombay. I mean, John, he's... okay, not just a frequent Fox News guest. He's the former Secretary of Education under Reagan.
Right.
And he's he's also a firm believer that exorcism is our viable solution to mass shooting. Here we go.
I've been thinking and studying about all these cases. I'm not sure we're going deep enough. I think you need police, you need parents for sure, you need schools, you need to clean up social media. You need all that, but you may need an exorcist too. Before your audience shakes its head on that, if you look at these boys, these men, these young men, they have deeply spiritual problems.
How do we stop all the shootings in churches then, I wonder, if we don't have enough religion in?
That's the thing. Yeah, these guys keep making the religious argument. And sure, I'll agree, these young men have deeply spiritual problems. That's why we don't want to give them guns that kill 25 people a minute. You know, Jesus said it was more important to fight exploitation of the poor, forgive those who hurt you, oppose the death penalty, practice nonviolence, welcome the stranger, care for the poor, care for the sick, and pay your taxes, than to ever even mention abortion. So I think Democrats need to be willing to have the spiritual debate with the Republicans all the time, because they don't have one. All they have is words that make Cletus drool on the clicker with admiration. But they have no spiritual center. They have no patriotism. I mean, my God, how do you call yourself a patriot when you find these mass murders acceptable? They don't want to do anything to stop them.
Do you remember when we started this show 16 years ago, this version of the show, one of our drops was taking back God, taking back the flag, taking back America. Isn't it, John, like 16 years later? That's what we should be running on. I was saying about how someone was telling me they felt threatened because they saw a pickup truck with an American flag. Sure enough, there's a Trump flag next to it, Tea Party flag. You're right. They are not patriots. They're terrorists. And they are not Christian. You know, and we are not a religious theocracy. And I'm
we
sorry.
Have to take the Bible back from the hypocrites and take the flag back from the thugs.
Just fire it up.
Taking back God.
Thank you, Jim.
Taking back the flag. Taking back America. And all before breakfast.
Thank you.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
Thank you. Let's do it again.
We still play that on occasion.
Let's fire up. We're not going to take it anymore again.
That's why I love what Gavin Newsom did. Gavin Newsom's showing Democrats how to do it. And in the process, he's auditioning to be leader of the party. And
we're going to make our own insulin. How about that? How about that, bitches?
Yeah.
And we had what's our surplus? $60 billion?
$11 billion.
$11 billion.
Very high. It's at least $50 billion, I think. It's very high.
And John, you know, we all worked at Curran. He's the only man that may be as pretty as you are in person. It's really stunning.
He was a great coworker. I'll tell you, I had some good times with Gavin Newsom, and he's a really intense, really thoughtful guy, and it's really nice to see him stepping up and doing what we've all been waiting for him to do. Because the Democratic Party needs more men and women like that who are not just willing to take the fight to Republicans, but to do it in innovative ways. Buying airtime on Fox in Florida on July 4th, that's beautiful.
It's the message, John. Republicans are taking away your freedoms, right? I mean, that is, I think you're right. He's dead on. You know what else is giving you back your freedom is the Sexy Liberal Save Democracy Tour. If you don't have your tickets yet for September 24th in Chicago and October 22nd in Los Angeles, I don't know what to say to you. But John, what if there were another date that's just been added? So let's just say it's, I don't know, September 10th. Do we even know where it is? I don't know. I mean, but what if there was?
Stephanie Louise Miller.
Somewhere.
Pardon me? I'm sorry.
Imagine if you would somewhere, maybe on a coast that's more east than the West Coast.
Listen, I went
that
rogue.
Was brilliant,
I went rogue, and then
that
you
was
went
brilliant.
And then you went with me.
He went roger.
He went Rogue and Roger, the tour. Love you, John. See you next week, honey.
Have a great weekend, guys.
All right. SexyLiberal.com.
Yeah.